Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we'll be taking a look ahead to the forthcoming London Ephemera Fair, which incorporates the Paperback and Pulp Fair. And this is being held at the Holiday Inn in London in Coram Street on May the 25th, 2025. And the doors open at 9 o'clock until 3 o'clock. So we'll be having a look ahead to that show and also some of the stuff I'm hoping to find at that show. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Now, some of the shows at the Holiday Inn from July onwards have been cancelled. Now, this is because the actual Holiday Inn itself is being refurbished. So it's highly improbable that we will have another paperback show tied in with an ephemera fair this year. So this one now in May is going to be probably your only chance in 2025 to go to one of the London shows. So do bear that in mind. Some of the more regular book events that etc. fairs do hold, they have managed to find alternative locations around London, but your best bet is to go to the etc. fair's website just to get all the very latest information about when they're on, which shows have been cancelled, and the alternative venues for the ones which are still going ahead. But specifically for this paperback show, you probably won't be getting another chance until 2026, so really do make an effort to go to this one if you can. Now, don't forget, I have filmed the last few shows and also one of the photography shows. So if you can't make this show, fear not. The following week, I'll try and have my full video out. I'll tour both shows, the ephemera fair, the bit leading up into it, in fact, as well as the paperback show. And also I try and each show try and interview a few people who are either dealers or noted collectors who visited the show, just so we get a real feel for it. So if the worst comes to the worst and you live too far away or you're just not free on that Sunday, fear not, I will record the event. And if you want a taster of what it's like, I'll put a link to some of the past shows at the end of this video so you can have a taster and see potentially what you might be missing. Now, the usual paperback dealers will certainly be there, and I, for one, will be taking special attention to those £3 books just as you come inside the door. Then there's always that interesting mix of ephemera and just general rare first editions. In fact, in the ephemera fair, I probably still bought half of what I got at the last show from dealers in the ephemera fair because they know that there's going to be a lot of paperback collectors and fans at that particular show, so they tend to bring along their vintage paperback stock. So there's all sorts of Penguin pans, American pulps, loads of digests, as well as all the sort of more usual ephemera stuff. So don't disregard the ephemera fair. Seriously, it's absolutely packed with stuff. But obviously there's the sectioned off area, which is just a whole part of the complex, which is just paperback stalls. So obviously that's where you're going to really fill your boots. So I'm very much looking forward to that. One dealer I really can't wait to have a look through what stock he's sorted out is Dorset Bob, because quite recently he's bought 3 very large SF and horror collections over the last few months. So I know he sold an awful lot mail order, and if you've not seen that video on the channel, boy oh boy, what an amazing collection of stuff he's had in. But I'm very keen to see what he will be bringing to the London show, because there was just so much to choose from. And that's actually where I'll be based. So as usual, I'll be giving Bob a hand on the day because he tends to get very, very busy. I'll be giving him a hand. I'll be travelling up with him as well. So if you want to come by and say hello, that's where I'll be. Now, I have been updating my wants list, and a few things I thought I'd mention here that I'm particularly looking for. So any dealers watching, if anyone's got any of these things, you can always find me at Bob's stall, or when I'm walking around, say, oh, I've got these for you. Are they any good? So one of the things are these. It's the Forces Book Club. These are published by Penguin during the war. There's 120 different ones, and I've got about not even a quarter, maybe a quarter of them now, but no more. They are pretty scarce, and generally speaking, if they're in really nice condition and it's ones that I haven't got, I'll probably pay around £50 per copy. So if you've got any of these, they come in 12 different colours, but they've all got that very same design, like the square, like that, and they're numbered 1 to 12 on the spine. I am very much interested in those. Also Penguin related are Egyptian editions. So there's 22 Egyptian editions. I've got half of them. They don't tend to go for a massive amount. The green crime ones, of which there's 4, and I've got 2 of them, tend to be sort of £30 to £50 each. The more regular ones, in fact, there's lots of pelicans and that, they tend to be around the £20 mark. But if you've got any Egyptian penguins, and the easy way to tell is the price, PT6, and sale price in Egypt is along the bottom. Got any of those? They don't have to be in spectacular condition or anything, but I would definitely be interested in taking a look at those because they're scarce. Not many people collect them, but I am after trying to complete the other 11 that I've got. And of course, there's stacks of main series penguin that I'm looking for, and puffin books. And last time I picked up quite a bit that were missing from my list. And although I finished the first 1,000 penguins, I'm probably still missing about, I don't know, about 50 to have everything from 1001 to 3000. So that's a lot of books. And on the puffin side, I'm missing maybe, I don't know, 15 to 20 puffin storybooks to have 1 to 400 complete. So there's still a bit out there. So I shall be just bringing my lists along on that. And that's something that I'll do after the show. I'm going to do a much more detailed once list of some of the bits and pieces I am actually after. Another series I've been tracking down are these. It's the Collins White Circle crime paperbacks. I really love Collins White Circle, and I think I'm missing about 13 of those to have the first 200 in the correct first printings. So if you've got any Collins White Circle, do bring those along. Also, the Collins White Circle Western books. Those are the ones with the yellow covers. I'm missing just 5 of those to have the full set. So I'd really, really like to try and track some of those down. You probably are aware of the SF Digest New Worlds. It was a digest, then it was a paperback, and then it was a large format magazine. In fact, there was a new issue just last year, and I really like New Worlds, and particularly the run sort of in the 60s, sort of the New Wave run. Now, the first paperback issue of that is New Worlds number 142, and that's the very last issue that I am after to complete the paperback run of those. I am after one in pretty nice condition, so if it's bit tatty, I'm not really interested. I would like a particularly nice one, but if you've got one of those, do bring it along. You may remember last show, I picked up this amazing piece of original artwork, which is just the sort of thing you might find at the London show. I think it's fantastic. It's from an old Panther paperback, a British Panther paperback called The Forbidding Land. Now, I've got the piece of artwork, and there are a couple of copies of the book online, but they're absolutely hammered. Now, I would like to get ideally 2 copies in high grade of that particular Panther book. So if you've got The Forbidding Land in Panther in high grade, probably be paying £10 to £15 depending on just how nice the condition was. But yeah, ideally a couple of copies of that one. So if you've got the book that this cover came from, bring that one along as well, because I'm very interested in that. And obviously, just going around the fair, all the other publishers that I collect, I'm going to be looking out for. So early Foursquare, Pan Books, Digit Paperbacks, Panther, Corgi, the usual British ones. But the good thing about this show is you do get to see a lot of American paperbacks of a vintage style, which you just don't really see when you're out and about. But the specialist dealers have got American paperbacks, and yeah, it's always something exciting to see when you're seeing a lot of that stuff for the first time. So with regards to books that I'm after, I'll do a proper video once this show has been and gone. So in about a month or so's time, I'm going to do quite a detailed wants list with what I'm willing to pay, odd numbers that I'm missing, particularly with my main series, Penguin and Puffin, that I'd really like to narrow down now that I'm getting so close. I can almost sort of taste victory. So those particular books will be coming in a video in about a month's time. Now, one of the other things I'm always interested in, and I shall be on the lookout for, are any old publishers' catalogues or promotional stuff, bookshop posters or show cards from any of the British publishers, standees, anything like that. Very much my department. So if you've got any of that and you see me walking around, do please flag it to me, because often they're tucked away or dealers forget to put it out, or they just haven't got anywhere for it. But if you've got like show cards and things like that, bring it along. Even if you don't get to put it on the table, I will be very interested in buying that sort of stuff. So do give me a shout. And then finally, have you got a collection to spare, or are you looking to downsize or sell your collection? If so, I'm interested. The bigger, the better. So vintage paperbacks across the board, British, American, I really don't mind. As long as they've got a certain level of quality. Quantity is not an issue. I really am looking to buy nice big collections. And if it's not something that I personally want, I can pop you in touch with a dealer who will be able to come and make a visit and potentially make you an offer. So do bear that in mind and just drop me an email at julesburt@gmail.com if you'd like to get rid of any of your books. So there we are. I, for one, am very much looking forward to the London Paperback Show. I should be fresh back from a week's holiday, so I'll be rearing to go. And do make sure you come by and say hello. I'll bring along some of my promotional postcards and bookmarks as well, and you'll find those on Dorset Bob's stall. And that's predominantly where I'll be if I'm not out and about hunting for rare books. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the show, and I certainly hope to see you all there on the day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.